Hello everybody, I just had something pop up there. I didn't even know what that meant. But hi there, my name is Colleen Magnus and today is Monday, October 16th. I hope you've had a great day. Again, my name's Colleen Magnus and I am the Stampin' Up! Demonstrator on the East Coast in Chesapeake, Virginia. And I typically come to you live every Wednesday at noontime Eastern Time. And I've been doing that consistently, a word that's hard to have in my vocabulary, but I have been doing that for some time. And I love that time because you are in the middle of the week, you're in the middle of the day, and hopefully you're ready to take a break and create with me. Well, I've been wanting to do a second YouTube live during the week, but it's hard to find the right time because everybody says, oh, you must be consistent. And it's true, you really must be. But it's like, okay, the second Monday of the month, I have a team meeting. The third Tuesday of the month, I have a team stamping event. Wednesday would be a good time to be consistent, Wednesday night, but I just did one at noontime, so that's kind of weird. And then Thursday, the first Thursday of every month, I serve in a cancer ministry, and it just goes on and on and on. So I have been suffering from something I call PBA, paralysis by analysis. And I've just overthought this over and over again to where I am just going to pop on. My Wednesday noon, I will be consistent, but there's so much I want to show you. So many great projects out there that I'm just going to call this pop on stamping or pop in stamping, or you name it. I'm open to suggestions. You could put them in the comments. But I'm just going to pop on during the week when it's convenient. And if you subscribe to my channel, you'll know when that time is. So today I wanted to pop on to share a beautiful card with you that my upline made, and her name is Faith Clark. Now, Faith and I met 22 years ago, and I stamped with her a little bit, and then I signed up under her to get that discount. You know how that goes. So fast forward 22 years, and she is still inspiring me to this day. So with that, I am going to show the card, and the reason I give her so much credit is because I didn't even change anything on it. It's beautiful the way it is. So without further ado, I think we need to go ahead and get stamping. So I'm going to turn the camera down. It's always a little crazy when I do. Let me put this down here. I'll put this in here, and then I'm going to boot up my computer to make sure I hopefully stay in the screen. Here we go. I'm also kind of hoping too that by doing it at different times, different people will see it. But just know you can always go to my Creating with Colleen Magnus YouTube channel and see any of the videos that I have made. Now keep in mind, I have content under the word video and content under the word live. And I think you'll find lots of inspiration under both. So Deborah's here. Hey, Deborah. I'm going to show you this gorgeous bundle. This is actually, it's a suite. It's on page 28 of the mini catalog, and it's called The Joy of Christmas. And I'm basically going to be using the stamp set, the dies, and the designer paper. So this is the Christmas Classic stamp set right here. And again, I think it's just beautiful. It is a photopolymer set. What sold me was the dies. I love how the dies. This here, I'm going to show you a second card when I'm done, because what I'm going to show you is a specialty card, and then I'm going to turn it into a regular card. But I loved this die because I love how the holly is attached to the back, but I also love how they put this where I can cut out basic white or whatever color stamp my words, and it fits perfect. Now they did the exact same thing for these dies. This one here is gorgeous. Can't tell much there, but it's all the holly. It's like a frame of holly and ivy. And then this white piece here is basic white. You can stamp your words on there and put it in the middle. So beautiful bundle. And then the paper is really what sells you. If you love a classic Christmas, you're going to love this. So this is my favorite sheet. I could go with 12 of these, but then I'd need more of the other ones too. So just real quickly, I'll show you the front and the back. Love a gingham. That's like country. There are some music notes. Some more beautiful holly. And a different, more music notes. The other one looked more of a wood grain. This is a different color. We've got our beautiful shaded spruce green with some wood tones. And this is fun. Nice and bright. shaded spruce, and then just gorgeous designer paper. So before I show you the card that we're making, I did want to point out that a while back I did a video and it was titled New Release Christmas Classics Bundle. And so these were the two cards that I made right here. And with this, I had the option I told them, I said, what do y'all like better, the cherry cobbler or the old olive? And pretty much everybody liked the old olive because the berries popped more. Now, what was so cool about this card is that this here, the two corner pieces, that is just a 3-inch piece of designer series paper. So my goal was trying to show them how to get the most amount of cards out of a 12 by 12 sheet of designer paper that they can. So you would have gotten 16 cards because that's a 3-inch square, cut it diagonally, and there's your card. So we had done that. In the video though, when I was doing the berries, I made it a whole lot harder than it had to be. I went ahead and cut another one of these out of red and I snipped the berries off because some were smaller and some were bigger. Now, if you have OCD or ACDC, as my mother calls it, you can do that, but I really felt like it's much easier to do the way that I'll show you in a second. Plus, there was a comment. Esther Elliott left a comment on the video and said, you know, I think that would have been prettier on basic white instead of the pecan pie. So I was like, well, gee, let me go ahead and try that. So I did, and thank you, Esther. And anytime any of you have any suggestions, please tell me about it because I listen to all the comments, I hear them, and let me show you what I came up with. And Esther, you were right. This is a card that my stamp clubs made. And I just thought, okay, this is how I wished I would have made it the very first time. But since I didn't, I will show you what I did. You can watch the video. Again, it's called New Release Christmas Classics Bundle on my Creating with Colleen Magnus YouTube channel. And you'll see how to make all this part from the designer paper to the old olive. I agree the old olive was best. To go easier on your berries, I literally, and I'm going to show you that later in another card, I just took a hole punch, standard hole punch, cut out a couple of the circles in real red, and I put a little dot of the liquid glue on those three. I didn't worry about these berries. I think they were fine because it draws your eyes across the card. Put them on, a little bit of Wink Stella, and what I did do is just what she said. I put it on white, basic white, but then I felt like it needed something to pull these beautiful poinsettias out. So watch the video to learn how to do all this. This piece here of cherry cobbler is 5 1/4 inches by 4, and then your card base is just your standard 5 1/2 by 8 1/2, scored at 4 1/4. So I just had to show you that I listened to your comments, and you were right. Love it so much better that way. So Patty says she likes pop-up stamping, and Joan said, thank you. She's happy to be here from Minnesota. So I'm so glad you and Deborah are here. And again, I'm hoping maybe new people will pop in as I'm popping on, and we can all stamp together. So this is a card that Faith Clark made, and again, I loved it. And I think what is so cool about this card, anytime you use strips of designer series paper, look how beautiful they come together. And who doesn't have strips of designer series paper in their stash? I don't know about you, but it's hard to throw a lot of it away. And so this piece right here with all the strips, that could be anything. Anything from birthday paper, holiday paper, masculine paper. You have a great place to start with your card. And I am a special fold junkie. I love doing special folds. So this one was really cute. I love it because it will set up. Let's see if I can hold it there. I'll show you a trick. This one I have been playing with. So if it doesn't want to set up, here's what you do. Tip number 1. You take your Hershey Nuggets. Now these are the really good ones. They're really good. And you slide them in here. So you can take Kisses, Nuggets. It gives you weight. It holds your card down. And I think the best part is when the grandkids come upstairs to your stamp room, they don't know where you hid your nuggets. Because I'm telling you, all it takes is one time to come up here. They know they're in the second drawer in my desk, and any type of candy they come up and they want some. And of course, I can't tell them no. So dual purpose here. Hide the candy and hold your card up. But honestly, it will stand up. The other one will. And it's made like that. So let's get creating. Oh, someone from Pennsylvania. Let me see. Oh, yes. Very good, Felicia. I'm glad you found my channel too. She said, what about the glittering punches berries? Yes, if you have red glitter paper, we don't currently have it at the moment, but I'm sure it's in this room somewhere. Yes, those would be perfect for your berries. Good call. See, I listen. Okay, let me show you what you're going to need to create this card, and then we'll create it. You're going to need a piece of real red cardstock. It's 10 1/4 by 4 1/4, and you're going to score it at 5 1/2, 6 1/2, 8 inches, and 9 inches. Then you're going to need a piece of basic white, and that's 5 by 3 3/4, and that is for the back of your card where you're going to write your sentiment. Here you have basic white, and this is going to be 5 1/4 by 3 1/2, and you are going to score it at 4 inches and then 5 inches. So when you do this, you'll see when I fold it, you only have a little 1/4 inch piece. So score it at 4 and 5, and that leaves that 1/4 inch. Then you will need a piece of basic white, and this is to tape your strips to. So this is 3 3/4 by 3 1/4. For your sentiment, you are going to need a piece of basic white 2 1/4 by 1 1/4, and you are going to want to back that on a piece of shaded spruce, 2 1/2 by 1 1/2. You have your gold foil. Now on the gold foil, Faith used the music notes, and she made sure the bar was at the bottom. And I really did love that, but I don't have that folder. So the thing of it is, naturally I want that folder, hello, but I encourage you to use what you have in the stamp room. I remember when I first started stamping and somebody would make a floral card. Well, I wanted those exact same flowers. Now it didn't matter that I had 10 flower sets over on my shelf. I wanted those. And it took me a long time to loosen up and say, no, go with the layout, use what you have. And that's the whole idea of stamping, use what you have. So I didn't have the music notes. I'll probably lose a little sleep, but not much, because I substituted on this here. This is gold foil, 4 by 1 1/4. And on the in the online store, we have what's called the Basics 3D embossing folder. So it's 3 folders together. And of course, 3D embossing is nice and deep. And you have these beautiful dots. A lot of fun. This I do like to use a lot because it's subtle, but it's kind of like a bunch of just little hashes, and that's what I used. And then this here, I absolutely adore. It could be flowers, it could be starfish. Really cute. I hope you can see these on the camera. It's so hard. It's just like a catalog. It just never does it justice. So the last thing you're going to need are some strips of designer paper. So you know you have these, and we're not going to micromanage this part, but just some various strips, maybe 6 or 7. These were cut 5 by 1/2 inch, so I think they'll be fine, but you can use long strips too because you are going to be trimming this off. So 1/2 inch strips of designer series paper. How's that? Okay, oops. Let me put this here. If you want to do a screenshot, I also took a picture of the dimensions, and I will post that on my Creating with Colleen Magnus Facebook page, and you can get a picture, but if not, do your little screenshot. Okay, so who has here? Hello, Carla. Glad you're here, Pennsylvania. You know, technology is a struggle for me, but I will go down fighting. But I do love how it brings us all together. You know, no matter where you are. During COVID, I became a big Zoom person, and I Zoom everybody. And to this day, I still like doing that as opposed to just calling them on the telephone. So we're going to start with our piece here. And I want to put a little bit of a pattern back here. So I am going to use some Versamark. And with the Versamark, it's great. It's kind of a tacky pad. So if you wanted to heat emboss, it's going to hold your powder. And if not, it creates just that, the perfect watermark. So I'm just doing the 5 1/2 part up here. If I get a little bit over, nobody's going to really notice. And when I do a collage, I kind of like to turn the paper because I don't want my holly going all one direction. And you want to go off the paper. Now, I know you can't see this. I'll hold it up when it's done. And the more it's on here and the more it dries, the more you will see it. But I think that is the beauty of, excuse me, of Versamark, is that it will work with any colored cardstock. Let me see if you can see that. So it'll darken up a little. Then I'm also going to just throw some berries in here. Tell you, today was the first cool day in Virginia. And it cracks me up because, of course, I'm looking over here and let's see, we have Pennsylvania, we have Kansas, we have Minnesota. Y'all, I'd be embarrassed to tell you because I'm from Chicago that the weatherman called it a cold day. I think we were like in the 50s. Cold day. We got a cold front coming. It was beautiful outside, especially in the sun. On this side, the other 5.5, I'm going to do that. And there will be a piece of basic white on here for our sentiment. But you will see part of the edges. So make sure you do get this one on the edge. But I can imagine y'all up north, your fall is not quite as warm as our fall. But I would imagine just as beautiful. Some berries. Again, this is just to give a very light little pattern on the back. Okay, so I hope you can see that. It's hard to see my screen. Trust me, it is there. Okay, so now to put this together, I'm going to take my bone folder and I'm going to fold everything on all these score lines in. So I've got this one and I'll fold this one. They're all going the same way. This and this. Because I'm going to put my liquid glue here. So then when I shut it, like this, hold on. You got this here. When I shut it, it's going to automatically be where it's supposed to be. So when you go to fold this, don't fold it on the 4.5 line, go the one down from it. And I go up like that. And you'll see it should work. And if you're new watching, let me just preface this right now by saying so often, I always say I love to teach, but I may teach you what to do. I may teach you what not to do, but I promise to teach you something. And that is a true fact. Even when I mess up, we're going to learn from it. So just laugh with me and not at me and all is good. So there's your box. And it's nice and flat where it's supposed to be. So that is the piece right here. Now I'm going to put that piece of gold foil on the front. You know, sometimes when I first started watching videos, I don't watch too many of them, but when I did, I just felt like they all had it perfect. But if I was to wait for that, y'all, you'd never see me stamping. So we are just going to have fun and create and enjoy the time. And again, hopefully you will learn something. Thank you, Joan. You are a woman after my own heart. Hey, Renee, you found me. Hello. Joan said, not mistakes, just opportunities. I could not agree more. My friend Stephanie Lebec always said that. She said, there's no mistakes in stamping, just opportunities for embellishments. She is right. So I have this base piece, and now I'm going to set it aside. So now what I want to work with, I'm going to take my craft mat. That's great for when anytime you're using any kind of glue. And I'm going to take the basic white for the strips. And you can just, again, take any of the strips that you want. And you're just going to start taping them down. And it doesn't matter with them hanging off the edges. Now, as you can see, this one I did 5 inches. It does cover from corner to corner. So when you do have your strips, at least for this center line, make sure that you at least have one that is 5 inches long for that. The rest, they'll all fit in. So let's see, watching from Cape Cod. Oh, thank you. So glad I'm doing more seasons. Oh, thank you so much, Patty. I don't know that I always feel relaxed, but once I get here stamping with all of you, I really do. And Kay, how are you? Are you camping, Kay? Kay is on my team, and she camps more than anybody I know. I always say I want to be her. One day when I grow up, Kay, if I decide to. So I have this piece here. And now once I have that, I don't, like sometimes I'll use, let me grab a long strip and I'll show you. Sometimes, you know, I don't worry about cutting them down. I just cut 1/2-inch strips. And when I do, I don't want to put my tape on the back because I don't know where it ends and it can get all messy. So for that reason, I'm going to be putting it on the cardstock and I'm going to go from there. Let me pick another one. I will. So I'm just going to put my liquid glue there on the cardstock. And don't pull it in, because if you do, you could scrape that glue over your card. I kind of like go off the edge here. And once I'm off the edge and I feel it, I just push down. So let's take another one. Let's do maybe, oh my goodness, what color do I want to do? Let's do a brown. Let's see. Okay, we'll do one of these. And this is really the fun part. This is where I think you can really start to play. Just gonna put them on. Oh, it's gloomy and rainy where Renee is. Oh, good for you. She has a big pot of soup on. We actually had chili last night. And I'm gonna tell y'all a secret. I do have a really good bread recipe, but it takes all day. But if you have never tried, I think is it Bridgestone? They have a frozen bread that they do, and it is phenomenal. You literally buy it in the loaf, and with that, you just put it in the pan. I actually put it in the fridge overnight, let it rise, and it was great. You pop it in the oven, and it's more of a white bread. Everybody thinks you've been slaving all day, and all you did was take it from the freezer to the pan. Can't beat that. Okay. I'm chit-chatting. I need to work for you. Okay, so here I have cherry cobbler. Where's that? Here's that real pretty red piece. I like this. Let's put this one down. But see how you build this? This is probably what takes the longest part of your card, but still well worth it. Let me see. I'm going to go in with some music notes here. To the end, like so. All right, what else do I have? What other patterns? I'll go with this again. Thought this was pretty. Okay, now see, I'm starting to second guess. I'm like, man, maybe I should pull this brown one up. I'm not doing it because it's liquid glue, and it's going to stay where you put it, I promise you. And then just for that little edge there, I'm just going to dab it. And I am just going to cut this instead of putting this on as a strip because that piece is so small. I'm just going to layer that on there. Get over there. Because I'm going to cut it off anyways. So these are my pieces. So that looks like a hot mess. But I promise you it's going to look great. So now you're going to turn it over so you can see your strips. And you're just going to trim all these off. And the beautiful thing is I can use some of the longer strips again because they don't really have the glue on them. I get a little bit on the edge there, but all these I can use for another card. Because I'm going to tell you right now, you're not going to make just one. It's a lot of fun. And you'll be making more than one. Especially if Bren was on here. So going across, trim all them off. And I try to kind of feel the edge of the scissors along the white. You can also put this on your paper cutter and trim it that way. That's probably a whole lot quicker and easier. But you know, Lindsay's cooking dinner tonight, so I don't have to worry about cooking. I can stay and create. So this is what I have here. And you can see it's so beautiful. But then what Faith did, and I totally agree, is let's put some texture on this. So I am going to take the Distress Tile embossing folder and emboss it with that. And this is gorgeous. It gives it like a little bit of a vintage. And I don't know if you do this or not. My dear friend Tanya Reed taught me this. And of course, I didn't do it on this one. No, I did. If you have, you know, the plastic, I used to always undo these every time. Well, eventually your plastic rips and you don't have anything to hold your embossing folder. But if you take your envelope and take the sticky part and just tuck it into itself, then all you have to do to get your folder out every time is just pull it out. Push it in, pull it out. You're not having to redo this envelope. But it's still, trust me, your envelope's going to last a lot longer because after about the 5th or 6th time, I tear it. Yeah, so just make it like a pocket. Fold the sticky part in, and then you can put it in there. Now for this, I'm just going to put it in my folder like such. And you'll know if you want the image to pop up the front, you always want the Stampin' Up! Image up. Don't put it in this way because then it's inverted. You want it popped up. So I will put it in here. Let me grab my die cutting machine. Right here. So with this, since it is a 3D plate, I'm going to use my #1 base plate. And then I'm going to use the 3D embossing plate #4. So I'll put it on there. Make sure your sides are always even. And I'll just put it through. It doesn't feel like it's doing a whole lot, but it is. And then when I open this, I don't know if you can see it, but I have this beautiful texture. Very, very pretty. So I'm going to go back to my card base here. And I'm going to take this basic white. That was 5 1/4 by 3 1/2. And it's scored at 4 and 5. And I'm just going to fold on those. And again, everything gets folded in the same direction. So I have that and that. I should check my comments. Let me see. Oh, now we're watching from Texas. Okay, good. Carly does have her priorities. She said at a supper time, so she will watch the replay. And thank you for doing that, my dear. That is the good thing about it. You can always come back and watch. And don't forget to check out all my other videos under the video and also under live. So I have this here. And for this, since that's such a small seam back there, I'm going to use what we call tear and tape adhesive. It is great, and it's a double-sided type of adhesive. It's very strong. So I'm just going to put it on here. I don't know if y'all can hear that. My son's over there. I think he's grinding a barrel so he can have a barrel fire. So I have this here. Now to put it on, again, I want everything kind of flat. So this is going to get mounted on here. Typically, I would not use a tape when I'm doing that on something textured, but this stuff is pretty strong. It's really, really good. So I'm going to put it down just a little bit, like that. And then when I go to do this, this is going to be up. Have this part, I'm going to take the adhesive off, have it flat, because then it's going to go to your card like this, and that will have it open correctly. Let me show you. Sometimes if you can't get this, just get something sharp and it'll pull right off. So I'm going to fold this over. Got a little stickiness there. Hold on. Went over my edge a little. Okay. I'm going to fold this over, fold this down, and then when I push it, that is how your card, let me push it harder. Okay. That is how your card is going to work. Just like that. So to decorate the front, I am going to take that little piece right here, and I am going to stamp Tidings of Comfort and Joy in Real Red. Let me see. Yes, Renee, I agree. Embossing just kicks it up a notch. I think it kicks it up a notch because it gives it the texture, but I also like it because I think it like embeds everything. It just kind of makes it look like it's one instead of these strips that are on there. Joan, your husband wants pizza and it's not your favorite. But let me tell you, if you are ordering out, the good thing is you don't have to cook it. So, got to find the bright side. Hopefully that is one. So I will take that, and then I will always have a mess when I'm stamping. Let me grab my shaded spruce. So I have this little bit of liquid glue. And put that right on here. I love, if you are color challenged, or if you ever, I am. I mean, I'll be the first to admit that. And you are really trying to figure out how to do your colors, grab the pack of designer paper from Stampin' Up. They list all the colors on the back, and it's wonderful. You pull your colors from that. You know, our cardstock coordinates, you know, the ribbons, everything coordinates. So they really do make creating easy. I'm going to take a piece. This is new. This is a large check ribbon, and it's a vanilla and black. Now you can take your blends and color this. So then you have any color check ribbon you want. We did have one before, but it was white, and it was a little bit thinner. So this is 3/8, and I really think the other one was 1/4 inch. So they are different. So to create a little tail, I'm just going to put a little bit of adhesive in the middle. And I'm just going to fold it like that. And then on the back, put a little bit more. And I have that, like that. And then, of course, you've got to have a little bit of bling. So I'm going to take, I don't know if I want a big one. Let me lay it on there. I want to go big. Go big or go home. So I have one of the big gold brad embellishments, and these are called blooming pearls. So they're very nice, and they come in 4 colors and 2 different sizes, which is always a benefit. I want to pop this up. So I have to tell you, it's different coming on this time of the day. I do all the time consistently come on at noontime Eastern time every Wednesday. So you can definitely catch me on YouTube at that point. But in order to try to show you more projects, I'm going to just have to pop on at different times because every week is different. But hopefully you'll find me and you'll subscribe and you will come back. So that's the front of our card. Now we have to decorate the back. Now for face, I loved how she did the Christmas tree here. Now I don't have this bundle, so again, y'all know what to do. As hard as it is, take what you have and use that. So what I do have out of here, I have, excuse my dirty blocks, Merry and then to you and yours. So what I did, I could have stamped Merry, then Christmas, and then this, but if I line the 2 up on the block, then they're good to go. It's the spacing that I want every time. So here I'm going to take this and I'll do Merry to you and yours. And then I'm going to go back and do Christmas. See, the pad's really juicy. Pull this down where I can see it. Merry Christmas to you and yours. And then I don't know why I put my spruce pad up, shaded spruce, because I do want to come in here with a little bit of holly and put that there. So mine doesn't look like hers, but I still think it'd be great. And this is where you write your sentiment. So Joan made 100 Christmas cards with this fold. Man, she nearly lost her mind. Well, Joan, I tell you, I hope you space that out over a little bit of time. I think it is a cool fold. And I, for one, don't mind mass producing. Like, I will get in card swaps. And once I have my idea, I am good to slice and dice. I make Edward Scissorhands. For those of you who are older like me, I give him a run for his money. So here you have Merry Christmas to you and yours. But Joan, I bet your people were blessed by all your labor of love. And then that's the front. So again, thank you, Faith Clark, for sharing your inspiration with me always. And I want to show you, if you didn't want to make this a specialty card, with a special fold, You don't have to. Let me show you that real quick. Move my things around here, and I'm going to show you how to use this other piece here. So if you just wanted to make that a regular card, then you can take a 4 1/4 by 11-inch piece of real red, 5 1/2 score in the middle. Okay, give that a good little crease. Let me see here. Then, for the sake of time, I have already done one of these. You already saw how it was. If you're just coming in, you can go back and look. But this will get onto the piece of paper. So let me give you the base. Since this actually went on the folded piece, which was fine. I also like with liquid glue because you can move it around a little bit. Okay. Where is my ruler? I was a drafter for over 20 years, so I love creating with a ruler. So on this piece here, the one that you did all your strips on, that was 3 1/4 by 3 3/4. So your back piece, no matter what color you decide to make it, it's just going to be a 1/4 inch bigger. So that's 3 1/2 by 4. So I am going to actually put this down flat, and you'll see why in a little bit. And let me go the right way too. Okay. So I have this, and then you always got to decide, which way. I could spend 20 minutes trying to figure out where to put something. And although I have a good time doing it, it's not really time effective. So I have this here, and then from this saying, I wanted to show you how I also did the berries and how I altered this die. So let me grab the die. It is this die right here, the holly. So I am going to go ahead and cut this. I think I'm going to do gold foil. I'm going to show you what it looks like in the spruce in a little bit, but I'm going to go with the gold foil first. So I have my piece here, and it really does kind of take a big piece, but always keep it. You've got a lot of good pieces in here that you can use. So again, I'm getting my die cutting machine. And I do want to encourage you, when you cut foil, have your top plate be in good shape. And I'll tell you what I mean by that. Okay, so with the die cutting machine, you get the base plate, you get 2 acrylic plates, and then you get this plate here, which you use for cutting the dies because they are much thinner. Needless to say, it's hard to throw away a cutting plate because they work forever, but they get really scratchy. It's fine to have it on the bottom because that's where you're cutting again. But for your top piece, when you're using foil, try to have a nice clean plate because depending on what you're using, if you cut it with this on top, you're going to get all kinds of hatches and scratch marks in your foil. And then you won't be able to use those extra pieces on something else. So definitely use a nice plate. Start pushing it through. Out the other edge. And here I have my gold foil piece. Okay, let me put my die back. It's nothing worse than losing a die in the stamp room. Okay, so I'm going to save this little piece here and this little piece here. And I'll show you why in a minute. So I have this. Let me just get my other little pieces out here. Now's the time to do it before you glue anything down. So I am going to take, where did my paper piece go? Right here. I'm going to take this and I'm going to stamp with the words. Let me grab them. Looking around. Did I mount them? I believe I did. Yep. Give me a second, y'all. With all these projects, there's all kinds of stuff here. Okay. I might just have to show you the card. See, remember when I said I'll tell you what to do, what not to do? I know, and you know what? It's probably right here. I always tell people when they stamp with me, the one who sits closest to me has to work the hardest. And the reason being because they have to point to it and go, oh yeah, Your adhesive is right here. Okay, moving on. I'm going to show you the finished product in a minute. I'm going to leave this off, but I'm going to show you how to fill this holly leaf. Okay. With the holly leaf, this is one I'll cheat and I'll show you, but I'll show you how I did it. When I first put this on, pretend my words are there. I know I'm going to find that stamp as soon as we say goodnight. When I put this on here, I wanted the gold to go on the top, but of course I can't have this hang off. And the thing I didn't like was how I could see through the holly. I wanted that holly to be solid. So what I did, of course, for these pieces here, I'm just going to cut them. And y'all know you never throw anything away because you would have another piece of holly to put somewhere else. But I'm just going to trim this off here. So now that fits good. And if I was just laying this down, say for example, if I had this here, I could glue these two pieces in and it wouldn't matter because it's on something. But what if I want to pop it up? I can't pop it up and have them just like hanging in midair. So what you're going to want to do, turn this over. Since I'm going to pop it up with dimensionals anyways, put a dimensional lightly right in the middle, right there. Then you can come back and those two little pieces I told you to take. One can slide right in here. And then the other one can go right here. Is it the same one? Let me see. No, that one looked like it fit. Let me try it over here. Nope, that was the right one. So I have this. And I thought that one, that must have fell off over here. So what I would do is I can just take another piece that was there and stick it in there. But that's what I wanted to show you is don't worry about trying to glue that. Put in a dimensional and you can have that piece. And what I'll do with this, I'll just take my die again and I'll just cut this so I have that extra piece there. And then I'll know I can use it. Hold on. One more hope here. God is good. Let me see. Oh, thank you, Lord. I found it on the tray. Okay. So see how now I have a solid leaf? And I like that so much better than having it open. And again, I was going to pop it up with my dimensionals anyways. So I would take my dimensionals, pretend I found that stamp. That's probably right next to me. I stamped it with shaded spruce. Ba-bam. There you go. So I have this here, and now I can pop this up with dimensionals. So let me do that. Renee has seen my videos before. She knows, you know, I'll teach you what to do. I'll teach you what not to do. I don't edit. By golly, they're not perfect, but it is in there. Okay. Let me put some more right there because I can. So I have them on the back and that piece there. So let me see. Yes, this designer paper BJ is just gorgeous. It is beautiful. Glad you liked my tip, Felicia. But again, sometimes you just want a solid holly leaf. I live in a house of men, so if you hear that in the background, that's why. So I have this here. That's my base. And then as I was telling you, to do those, the holly, don't go cutting it off like I showed you in that one video. Take your little hole punch and put this here. Take your liquid glue. Oh my gosh, Dino is just making so much noise. There we go. And I'm still on my live.
I'm gonna wait to eat dinner with you.
Okay, thanks, honey. That was Danny coming in saying he's going to wait to eat dinner with me. So sweet.
Got the title, please.
Oh, good. Okay, good. I'll talk to you in a little bit. And for those of you who don't know, Danny is my husband. We have been married 43 years. He just retired in August. And it has been a joy having him home. I never have to worry about that man sitting idle. He's always doing something. Just glad to have him here. He's worked hard all of his life. I'll put that on there. And he's earned this part. So I have my berries there. And if I want, you know what, that's just one sticking out there. Let's put one there. Just because we can. So I have that. And I will say this, when I put it on cardstock, because I'm going to show you the spruce and see what you think of that. When I put it on the cardstock, they didn't slide around as much. But being a gold foil, just give that a little bit to dry. And y'all know to make them pop, because the cardstock is beautiful, but it looks a little flat. Go ahead and put a little bit of Stella on there. Your Winka Stella. Always great. Just like that. So this is the standard card. And again, that was the card that Faith Clark did. Love it, Faith. Thank you. This one here is showing you how to make the solid holly with the gold. And then this one, when I first did it, I did it in the shaded spruce, and I wasn't sure. But you can see I even put some of the gold foil in here. So have fun with this. Have fun with the strips. Let me see. You lost your sleep to night divine. I don't know what that means, Carol. You'll have to explain. So anyway, it might have been something I said that I just don't even remember. So which one do y'all like? I'll stay on for a minute. Do you like it in the spruce, or do you like it with the gold foil? Well, let's see what you say. But for those who are new, again, I'm going to be popping in when I can, always regular at noontime Eastern Time Wednesday. And I do hope that you will subscribe to my channel. Let me see, you lost your sheet tonight, Divine. Oh, no. Oh! You know, it's really hard when you lose a die. Let me tell you, try to think where you last saw it. But Carol, I lost one time, and it was on the back of the designer paper. No, actually, it was a photopolymer stamp. I had all my paper out. Apparently, I put it down on the photopolymer stamp and never thought about it. Went in the drawer with my other papers. I lost a lot of sleep on that, but by golly, thankfully, I just said, what was everything that I touched? What was I using that day? And I was able to find it. So I am going to be praying that you find your sheep. May your sheep come home. So you guys, Deborah, Renee, y'all like the green. Very good. Very good. I think this is a little flashy. And since I have the gold foil here, I think it's okay. So I just want to thank you all for joining me today. If you would like to place any orders, you could do that at my creatingwithcolleen.com blog. You can also request my newsletter. It's all stamping, all positive, all the time. And if your order is less than $150 this month, please use that host code. And if you do, I have 2 packs of the stars to the Night Divine bundle that is in here. That is one of my favorite. I have a tea light card on that. That was a fun thing to make. That was under my lives. But here, these little adhesive back star trinkets will not be in until the beginning of November. But I have 2 packs that I'm going to give away. If you just place any size order using that host code, I will draw 2 names at the end of the month, and I will be glad to mail you your stars. So thank you so much, and I do hope you'll come again and check out my channel. I've enjoyed meeting some new people, and happy stamping. Make sure you do something creative, and look for me Wednesday at noon Eastern Time. Thanks so much, y'all. Have a great night.